On the last video, I revealed the situation that I'd been caught in over the last 3 years, and the struggles I'd faced to get the world's first four-wheel drive R36 Turbo Seat Leon Cupra to fruition. Eventually, I had no other option than to rescue the car from the person that I'd entrusted with the build. It was only then I really saw the true extent of how bad I'd been lied to, and also how far off completion really was, and what it would take to get this car up and running, as starting at this point was almost worse than starting from scratch. Because, as you'll see later on in this video, things could potentially be way worse than we originally thought.
If it's not right, it's a new engine.
During the last few months before rescuing my car and having to deal with this individual and starting to see the cracks appear, in the back of my head I wished I'd done my homework when selecting the right person or company to take on this task. It was then I remembered back to a conversation that I'd had with a renowned builder that commonly and successfully finished builds of this level that ended with, "If you ever need anything, just let me know." So I let them know, and they were 100% game. This time I know I'm speaking to the right people. Only problem is, they ain't local, like not even close to being local. So I made a decision there and then, and the car got loaded up by CTS nationwide and set sail on its adventure. Now, me and James just need to get to the same location.
Do they know where we're going?
No.
And then we arrived.
You know what, James? Lately, I've just been getting into classical music and I've just got some weird taste for Wiener Schnitzel lately. It's all mad. I don't even know why I told you that, but...
What you're talking about.
Yeah,
Listen,
sorry, bro.
focus on your car. Last time I saw that thing, it was in bits.
Bro, the car's been absolutely disrespected. And that's why it's so important that we made this journey to get it done properly this time.
You need to send us to the right place.
Oh, we sent it to the right place. Because we're back in Austria at Turbo Elite and the Cupra is getting sent properly this time.
Let's get it!
Let's go. Klaus, welcome back to the channel.
Hello. Back again in Austria.
Back again in Austria. Now, we didn't think we'd be coming back and seeing you so soon, but you know, the universe has pulled us back here.
Yeah. Two guys with the same passion.
That's it, that's it. And I think myself, and definitely my viewers, seeing what you do down here and the crazy builds that you've produced and the quality, the workmanship that goes into them, I think they'll be happy to see this car in hopefully, well, no, definitely the right place. And myself, knowing what you guys do, I'm happy for it to be here amongst all these other builds and for you to be taking it on.
Thank you.
Before we get into it, because I mean, we've got a lot to get into. For the people who missed our first mini-series, do you kind of want to explain what you do down here and perhaps some of the builds that you've got knocking around here too?
Yeah, from 2007 starting with our own cars. And after own cars, it's getting more customers and coming even more people.
For sure.
And it's still working on the same. Still working most time on Volkswagen, Audi, some Porsches of course, maybe one or two Lamborghinis.
Nice.
Yeah, that's it.
Nice.
But still having fun, still enjoying our work here,
Yeah.
and it's
One thing that I was really intrigued about, and this is before the first time we met, is the fact that when we got speaking initially, I saw that on your profile that your work on the VR6 engine goes back a long, long way.
Yeah.
But one thing that you done that not a lot of people were doing at the time was an R36 engine. You've been building R36 turbos 15 years ago, maybe?
No, more. 2007, starting with it, the first one. Just it was an idea. It was just the idea to get it to run in my MK3 car. And we did it, with a little power, after that a little more power. But it's still something special.
Yes.
It's not the best idea to do it, you know it. It's not the cheapest idea to do it.
Yep.
But it's a little bit different.
It's unique.
And everybody try to do something different, and not everybody's trying the same.
talk about my engine, my R36, shall we talk about some of these cars that are here? Because it's always cool to talk about what's going on.
Yeah, of course. It's typical off-season, winter-time projects are here, of course, from Austria, from Germany, or from Luxembourg. Most time the car needs more power.
Yeah. So what is this owner of this Mark IV? What's
Mark
this?
MK4
R32?
Volkswagen, R32.
Okay.
Typical turbo build for about 700 plus horsepower.
Nice.
Forged engine, big gearbox, MQ500.
Oh, it's MQ500, yeah?
Of course. It's the best. It's the best solution for street cars.
Yeah.
It works. It's made for the power. It's not the fastest shifting, but it's okay.
Would I be right in saying the MQ500's out of like a diesel Tiguan?
For big power diesel, for the smaller cars we took the petrol gearbox from the petrol, because otherwise it's too long.
Sure.
You have too little power for the 4th and the 50, and the car is not running good.
Got you. Okay, that's interesting.
But it's typical build, big brakes, OZ wheels for big brakes, KW suspension. Car is in a good condition. It's now a little bit dirty, of course, in winter in the garage.
Yep.
But it's good condition, and it will be finished in the next tour for weeks, and after Christmas for sure it's ready for a tune.
Nice. We've got a Mark V here.
Mark V, yeah, but not a typical Mark V. The car had already an R36 engine.
See, this is why.
Without turbo.
Okay. Oh, so he was running just an NAR36?
Yeah, normal 300 horsepower. The car was running for a long time. The turbo build is now finished. The next parts, the next step is all parts are going to the paint shop.
Okay.
To get painted, and then we will finish the car. It's also for sure ready to tune in January, February, when the weather will be a little bit better. We're going on the street back.
So what's the setup of this one? Fully forged engine?
Yeah, of course. You need for this R36 engine, you need of course piston rods.
Got you.
Otherwise, you have the problem 3.6 liters, not the biggest turbo, and not a lot of Newton meters. You will get soon problems with your rods, and of course with the crankshaft. You know that this is the main thing we got talking about a year ago about your crankshaft.
Sure.
And that's you need for this power. You need a forged crankshaft, and that's why all cars are changed to the R32 crankshaft. And the rest of the engine is also forged. Different camshafts, valves, everything is made, of course.
What kind of power will this one be shooting for?
750 is the goal.
Do you know what's crazy? Like the times have changed so much now. 700 doesn't sound like a big number anymore, but it's still going to be fast.
But most customers noticed when they don't have the possibility to do it on themselves, they know, okay, we are going little power, but without no problems.
Yes.
That's the main thing.
That's it.
People now have recognized it's not always about 1,000 horsepower.
Yes.
Because 1,000 horsepower there will be problems in the future with 1,000. That's it. When you want 1,000 horsepower with a guarantee, just buy a Bugatti.
There you go. More power, more problems.
Yep.
So we've got an R32, an R36, but we also have a Mercedes here.
Yeah, a really crazy build.
Yeah.
A really crazy build in the last year. The customer had already in the past 900 horsepower.
And this is an E60. This isn't a new version with a Cupra bumper. This is actually an E63S for the people who want to know. So 900 horsepower originally.
It was tuned to typical, I think, stage 3 you call it.
Yep.
Upgrade turbos, downpipes, water methanol injection for cooling.
Sure.
But yeah, the owner of the car had told me I want to be one of the fastest on the half mile.
Okay.
And then the really crazy build starts. It's a completely built engine. I think it's one of very less cars in the world from Mercedes, a completely forged engine.
Completely built, yeah.
Completely. Head starts, forged pistons, rods, every parts are special made. Intake manifold, not anymore the original plastic one, also made of aluminium, everything. Bigger turbos, turbos are made for 1,200.
Okay, is that the aim with this car, 1,200?
Yeah, that's the one, and we think the first problems will be the turbos.
They'll run out of power.
For sure they will be bigger in the future, but the car is already running. We have already started it 1 week ago.
So it runs, yeah?
Engine is okay, everything seems to be good. Now I'm finishing the car in the next few days and then go on the streets and do some little tests. The engine is completely new.
Wow.
So making 200 or 300 kilometers just for testing, driving, and everything is okay. Then the car will go back to Germany to the owner, and he has his own guy who is tuning it's a second ECU for the port injections.
Oh yeah, so it's got port injectors. So 16 injectors.
16 injectors.
That's not cheap when you buy injectors.
2 big fuel pumps in the rear, completely. Everything is changed, really everything. And when I remember right, only the fuel system is more than 10,000 euros.
Just the fuel system.
Just the fuel system.
See, this is the thing.
He's not joking around at the owner. He wants to be really next year one of the fastest Mercedes on the Half-Mile. That's the main goal. And he said, Klaus, you are making the engine. For the rest, he has his own people in Germany.
Yeah.
I said, it's okay for me. And one special thing, and that's the main thing we have to say thank you to Wagner Tuning. Maybe you know the
Wagner, yeah.
This is the first E63 with a Wagner intercooler. The intercooler is not made for this car. They sent me the intercooler from a G63.
Okay.
And this is really big, and we managed to fit it.
You can just about see it's like double width now, isn't it? Something. Yeah.
And there is only 2 millimeters in the back to the engines and 5 millimeters in the front left. So
it's in there. But that's as big as it can be.
It's in. It's really the first one in Europe, and maybe the first one in the world with this intercooler.
I don't want you to show him what car's in the back because I believe we might be making a separate video on the car that's in the back. But there's a special car in the back, right? That will hopefully, the viewers will see. I want to now explain why this car's here. The video you would have seen prior with me showing the car and me trying to explain what condition the car was in, and it only being apparently 2 days away from mapping, that this car was so much worse than whoever was building it made out. Now Klaus has basically taken the time, because this car has been here for 3 days now, I believe. I think it got here 3 days before we did. So he's basically looked through the car and went over it to say what is needed and, like how much time and development is going to need with this car. So what we're going to do now is we're going to talk you through everything that Klaus has found on the Cupra and also our future plan. Because there's a lot going on.
Yeah. A lot is missing.
A lot missing. So do you want to tell us your initial thoughts when you saw the car? Because you've seen the car on the video,
I was just thinking about to tell your guy, please take it back to the UK. Because I was just thinking we have a problem with to finish the engine.
Yes.
The wiring, the ECU, the piping, the exhaust system, the fuel system. That was my thing, my fault.
Yes.
But it's a completely new project. It's a completely new project. Also with the bodywork from the 4Motion is done. But you have seen it, it's not the way done it should be.
Could in any way, shape or form, in any world, could this car have been 2 days away from being ready?
No, and you know it. It's far away from anything. I told you, I think the engine is not the worst work. The engine looks good, most of the things, but the rest of the car is the problem.
Yeah.
Or everything with the turbo, with the turbo kit.
Yeah.
Is the problem. Missing or not made in the way it makes sense.
Yeah.
You saw the oil return line next to the exhaust manifold and 5 millimeters away from the turbo housing, from the exhaust housing. It will not last long for your OG battles.
There were so many things that you showed me that would have stopped this engine from working straight away.
Yeah. Every run you would have made, there will be another problem.
A new problem. Yeah.
The car you get it, take 1 run, maybe 2 or 3 runs, back to the workshop. Next problem.
Yep.
That's not the sense, and so there seems to be big problems in the past to finish the project in the right way, and so you have to stop it. And now we are restarting nearly from zero. That was not my fault.
This is the thing. And guys, remember I was saying in the last video, I was like, what have I actually been left with? And although it looked like a full car, you got to remember that this project has been 3 years in the making, and we have to start from zero. That's how. If you scratch a little bit deeper than the surface, this is what you'll find. There
are so many changes made, they make really no sense. The car is conversion 4Motion built, of course, looks good at the first view. We will see if it will work. I'm removing everything to check it, of course. But the rest, it's starting with to mount the engine. It's not possible with these parts, with the original parts from your Cupra. You have to make them in a special way to fit with the new gearbox. You have seen this one is. What
even is this? So this, now I don't know if this was a temporary thing, I don't know if this was a solution, but one thing I do know is when it was screwed in, right guys, I'm not even gonna tell you the price of this gearbox, Google it, but it's worth more than a car.
Yeah.
Like the bolts that went through it, all the threads like stripped, and look, you can see all that, I don't know if it's focusing, but right down there
you see.
is
the rest of
This is the other thing. You kind of want confidence in the person that you trust with parts like this to treat them right. You know,
as you said, it's more than a small car. This is not make for making fun, and this is serious power.
This is serious stuff, and to have it treated like that, it's actually horrible to see. But luckily, it does seem like things will be able to be salvaged and made work. But it's little things. It's the little things like that that make you worry.
Cooling, about the cooling, everything is missing. Everything is missing. The wiring, nothing happened. The one part from the car is original, still original, and that's it. There's no R36 wiring to see anything here. Yep. Everything is missing. It's not finishing the car. We are starting from zero.
Even when you open the door, I think you thought that shifter was.
Well, I was thinking about. I can show you. I was thinking it's already mounted to the car, but in reality,
it looked good, but it was just balanced there. To tell the truth.
Here's the shifter.
There we go. So there was
on your video you have sent me a week ago. It looks good.
Yes.
Oh, shift is already in.
Yeah.
Nothing.
No. It's just balanced, to tell the truth.
Yeah.
We can now see into the back a little bit more. Now Klaus has been able to open up the back. We've obviously had the floor. I'm not going to go over there and show too much of that. Everything is very, very tatty. Yeah. We have no clue why all of this is out, but we think we might know. But it's just everything has been done just not in a nice way, basically. Thoughts on this too? I mean, look, it's been cut away. Now,
I don't know. It's no sense for me. When you are building a manifold, you're building it in the way it fits the car, and not building a manifold and the rest of the car you are fitting. It's not the sense. So I told you, when it's the weather in the UK is not the best. So now we have a little problem.
Yes.
We have to cope with it because the way it's done, it's not perfect.
No.
It's a car. It's not you want to drive it the next few years.
For sure. Rust and fall apart otherwise, you know. So you did drop the engine out.
Yep.
Because essentially, if you're starting from zero and this is your project and everything is now your problem,
it's really my problem.
It is a big problem. Do you want to talk us through some bits that you found, some bits you think are good and bad, where we're at with this?
So the front bumper, we remove it. The front bumpers again.
Oh yeah, we need a new front bumper too.
Back to the Mercedes.
Yeah, this bumper is actually broken a couple of places. Broke here and it's broke there. So this bumper is literally scrap.
So your engine, it's not so bad, I have to say. That's okay.
That's a relief. Piston
and roots, good quality.
Yep.
The engine looks good.
Yep.
The work, you have paid a lot for it, for your crankshaft, for your bed plate and everything, that it fits the engine.
For sure.
It was not the cheapest.
Can we show them that actually? Because I never got to show them it in real life. I just cut to some pictures on the last video.
We can turn around.
Yeah, this will illustrate what I was trying to explain. So we call this a girdle, a crank girdle, and then it has the caps that I'm not sure if you guys can see in there, but essentially the whole block would have to be machined to accept this. Now, if the machine is done right, we're good.
It's all about this, the crankshaft that is straight.
Sure.
Everything needs to be straightened.
Yep.
And not and something like that, because otherwise the engine will be damaged within 1,000 kilometers. I know the story about a friend of mine 8 years ago. He had this problem 3 times with his engine, and the main thing was only because of the crankshaft. Sure. Okay. And that's why we are going to check it in the next few weeks.
Yep.
I hope everything is okay, so we can put all together again. The parts are really good. Piston and roots are good quality.
Yep.
Crankshaft is a forged one from the MK4.
It's only forged because you told me that crankshaft, and this is not long ago. This is when I last fitted. You were like, what crankshaft have you got? And I was like, I'll find out. I found out it's a cast crank. Yep. This is only in here because of you. Otherwise, again, the engine would have exploded.
The only way that the engine will do this power. Your camshafts?
Yes.
I think they are from Cat Cams.
Okay.
Also looks good. A timing chain, everything is new. So I think there's no problem with these parts.
Yep.
I told you about the VVT to remove this, because otherwise your camshafts are doing more way now. So the valves are open wider to get more air into the engine. And there will be a problem for sure with the upcoming pistons, so they can touch. So this intake will be reduced, the way it is moving, and this will completely removed.
Let's talk about injectors now. Let's talk about fueling.
Which injectors?
Exactly.
Which fueling?
Exactly.
Fuel pump? Do you have someone with you?
I know I paid for it.
Ah, okay. There isn't your fuel pump. I think you are trying to make a new R36 engine because you are only using two injectors.
We borrow. This got 16. We could borrow some out of there.
Maybe I will talk to him. And also I told you, maybe I don't know if it's possible to film it, the black piece in.
Yep, so they might be able to see. So basically what you're looking at down there is basically the butterfly of the throttle body, and it's plastic, guys.
It's plastic. Would be nice to to drive plastic with 1,000 horsepower.
So essentially,
not very long.
What's going to happen? It's going to explode. It's going to get sucked into the intake. It's going to go through the engine.
For sure.
So essentially, that is an R36 one.
Yep.
That needs to be changed to an R32.
It's the same one, same size.
Same size, just metal.
Yep.
Let's talk about this funny problem here, because cylinder head.
You want really talk about it? I'm not sure. Just show you spark plugs.
All right. So anyone knows about spark plugs? Believe it or not, in that dark hole.
I think there's no. We don't have to explain anything about it. Everybody knew there's a big problem with this.
There's a big problem. If you can't see the spark plug, it's probably not gonna.
This one fits not this engine, and I told you maybe the engine would have been started. I don't think it would work at all.
Yeah.
The rest of the cylinder head is completely new.
Yep.
I think valves looks good.
So it's good.
The main problem about the cylinder head are your rocker arms. How you call? I think you call
your
it
rocker arms. Yeah, no, that's right. Yep.
They are from the new R36 engine.
Okay.
And you see they are very thin.
Yep.
And there are better ones, forged material from the newer R32 engine, MK5.
So these need to be upgraded.
Genau.
I think that's pretty much it. And that is all pending that this is all good and straight, which we hope it is.
Yep.
I mean, Gravitune, I have worked with Gravitune. The products are good, and the machine shop. Hopefully things are okay.
I hope so, that we can just check it and put it together again. So the engine should be done at the end of January.
Cool.
Otherwise, with the problem with the bearing of the crankshaft, for sure we need a new engine.
This is what's on the line right now, guys. Like right now, we're hoping, and I don't want to over-exaggerate anything, but if it's not right, it's a new engine. It's as simple as that. We are definitely starting from zero, but we're very close to zero. But essentially, you've got a big task on your hand, and in fact, there's a lot more smaller little things that probably aren't worth talking about now, but things that you're going to have to work out, source, get, build, make, all of this kind of stuff. So talking about timelines now, just so people are on board of where we are, like this isn't a quick project, and as much as I'd have hoped we were 2 days away from it being ready, realistically it's not. It's so far from being ready, it's incredible.
It's again, you're starting a new project, this time with a new company.
Yeah. So with that said, where would you like to see this car being ready for? What kind of timeline?
I hope we are going to be back on the street in the middle of summer. May, June. We already talked about it. There's a big car show in Germany. You want to join it with your car? Maybe we can test the car there on the quarter mile for the first time. Of course, there are a lot of other things we have to think about: it, tires, wheels, everything for this event. Then, but the first thing is the car should be back on the street definitely May or June. That's the main goal.
And I think that's actually a very, very reasonable timeline, given it's been 3 years to get it to this. Do you know what I mean? And also another thing that we haven't touched on, but people will probably be wondering, you kind of skimmed over it, there's no loom. So we're now going to go for completely different motor management that you guys use. Specifically, it's a custom ECU that's built for Turbo Elite by the guy who's now going to be rewiring the whole car and sorting out all the looms. So it's going to have its total own standalone custom Turbo Elite ECU.
And it's working completely with no flash, any lights on inside the car. And if there are any problems, we can help anytime with Wi-Fi, and it's our ECU, and I think it's the best solution for this car. So we are sure that everything will work correct.
What I also want to speak to you guys and tell you, I know it's been a long video, I know it's been a techie video, but hopefully you're here with us for this journey, because man, it's way overdue. And as I say, now we are making a serious, I've always been trying to push to get this ready, but now it's going to happen. Klaus has mentioned that we want to get this car ready for May, June for a big event coming up, which is a race event in Germany. But what I want to do after that is I want to keep the car in Europe, and I want to take it to other race events, other race meets, and use this car out in Europe, really bringing you content that we would never usually see. And I've got a car that's there actually, you know, actually up there fighting with the big boys, you know. And it just makes sense to do what I can in Europe, bring you guys wicked content. It's here in Europe. If there's any issues, you can fix it straight away. And then once we've done what we need to do in Europe, we bring it back to the UK and we we make content in the UK, we do all stuff like that. So hopefully this will bring you a completely different perspective of Europe's racing scene with a car that I own and that I can bring you first-hand experience and content from, but also have the support structure there where I need it, you know? Because that's obviously, it's coming a long way, like, you know.
It's a completely different way for you to drive your own car in Germany or in Austria for an event, for a car show. It's completely different also for you. It's more fun to enjoy this.
Also, with Klaus being in Austria, Turbo Elite being located in Austria, for me to come out every week to give you an update is going to be very tricky. So what we're going to try and do is every time we hit a milestone, when something is like kind of, maybe let's say the engine's fully built and it's back in the car and things are looking good, and it's worth bringing you a nice meaty kind of update, I'm going to do that. So maybe every couple, maybe every 3 months, and just bring you that good content. So bear with us, but believe me now, it's happening, and you should be excited now because it is going to work. We're going to make this happen, and it's going to be incredible because you've seen the builds that these guys make. Flashback to the R36, Mark 6, Golf R, absolutely incredible. Well, this is going to be that, hopefully on steroids. We're going to go absolutely crazy. Thank you for being here with us today. And also, Klaus, thank you so much for taking this project on. After seeing how it was, you let this car through the doors.
I told you already in August. Maybe we will see him very soon.
If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up, please, because James in the background there and myself, we've traveled a long way to make this happen, and please show your support just by hitting that thumbs up. It costs you nothing. Please also stick around because on the next video, you're going to see us talking about a really, really cool secret car that we have through those doors. So that's another reason to subscribe. So guys, thank you for being here with us once again today. And from myself, Klaus, and James, we'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.